We hope you love our channel and don't have any complaints, but if you do, please give us a call, and remember to press 1 for cuneiform and 2 for...
Iltam Zumra Rashupti Ilatim.
Yes, we're kidding, but that's what they did about 4,000 years ago. Well, okay, not exactly. They obviously didn't have phones or the internet, but they did press their complaints into clay, creating cuneiform tablets. And the earliest recorded complaint in history is in writing and comes from an ancient tablet from Mesopotamia from roughly 1750 BC. But this complaint has a modern twist. It is the classic tale that involves the rise and tragic fall of a man that would live on to become the most hated man in contemporary Sumerian culture. His tale, even today, has spawned several viral internet memes. So, next time you think you're going to be ripped off by an old high school acquaintance trying to sell you on a pyramid scheme, look no further. All you need to do is set your sights on the king of kings when it comes to scam artists, the OG of being a sleazy scumbag salesman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the tale of ea-nasir. So here we have a guy, our good friend, ea-nasir. Ea-nasir was a fairly wealthy merchant in the large and bustling Mesopotamian city of in the year 1750 BC. Ea-nasir wasn't really exactly the most honest of men. In fact, he may have been downright crooked. At least that's what a guy named Nani and many others said, according to tablets that were found in ea-nasir's home during archaeological digs in the early and middle 1900s. Ea-nasir had sold many things, but had initially gained a reputation as a credible seller of copper ingots around Mesopotamia. Many tradesmen sent him money and later received their ingots by land or sea. But eventually, it seems, things began to go awry. Like many humans throughout history, ea-nasir succumbed to greed and began doing what governments have been doing to gold and silver coins for thousands of years. He debased his copper ingots with cheaper alloys, and he even copper-plated regular stones to make them look like full copper ingots. He then began trying to sell his ingots as the real deal in the lower Mesopotamian region to men of means and knowledge, sort of like the Roman government trashing its denarius silver coins with cheaper metals and trying to pass them off until the coins eventually became almost worthless. Or like Chinese dealers trying to pass off fake iPhones as real ones. This little ploy by ea-nasir quite obviously fooled nobody, especially Nani. Nani wrote to ea-nasir in a now famous cuneiform tablet saying, "You have offered bad ingots to my messenger, saying if you will take it, take it. If you will not take it, go away. Who am I that you are treating me in this manner, treating me with such contempt? And that between gentlemen such as we are. I have written to you to receive my money, but you have neglected to return it." It would seem that Nani was quite the gentleman indeed, perhaps even too nice for a modern-era Yelp or Twitter criticism, with its expletives and general nastiness. And that was only part of what Nani had to say in the cuneiform tablet found with his long complaint, which is surprising, because the tablet is quite small, in fine etchings and no bigger than an average passport. The full tablet was acquired by the British Museum in 1953 and remains on display for curious observers of the long tradition of humanity's complaints against business people. Except for a few small chunks missing, the tablet is in almost perfect condition. Maybe one day we'll find a tablet showcasing the ultimate showdown, ea-nasir versus Sumerian Karen. The tablet that Nani wrote looks big, but it's only 11.6 centimeters long and 5 centimeters wide, so that Nani could pack a serious and long punch into a tiny space. He would have been an absolute powerhouse on Twitter. And speaking of Twitter, and Yelp, and Reddit, and Facebook, ea-nasir's bad reputation in modern times began to get some traction around the year 2000 AD, but started going positively viral in 2015 after Reddit pics posted a photo of the tablet on Reddit with the little 1750 BC problems. Ah, ea-nasir, my friend. It appears that your legacy lives on.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
It would seem that us humans in our modern-day bubble are a bit taken aback that customer complaints go this far back, almost 4,000 years, and that the ancient Reddit was a clay tablet sent via messenger by boat or camel. we have not changed one bit, it seems. We're going to show several ea-nasir moments at the end of this video, but here's some of our favorites taking a tongue-in-cheek jab at poor old ea-nasir himself. First, there's the famous Steven Crowder setup. Then, a car salesman. How about this hilarious comic strip Sound of Music take? And of course, ea-nasir, the fraud on Twitter. There are even ea-nasir logos that state, "Trust me." Yes, this shady Mesopotamian man might even be a bit proud of his infamous notoriety in an age of endless information, though perhaps he'd be a bit disappointed that he's just a one-in-a-million conman. But in his own day, his ill reputation began to catch up with him. Other tradesmen began to discover his duplicity. Here's yet another poor victim, a man by the name of Arbituram sending an ultimatum to ea-nasir saying, "You have given the copper, and give the silver and its profit to Niganana. I have made you issue a tablet. Why have you not given me the copper? If you do not give it, I will recall your pledges. Good copper, give again and again. Send me a man." But this cannot equal the famous nemesis of ea-nasir, Nani, who eventually escalated his rhetoric against the famous Sumerian conman. You see, even though Nani appears to be the consummate gentleman, even he has a breaking point. Here's what Nani had to say at the very end of his famous cuneiform tablet in the British Museum. "With regard to that copper, as you have treated me, you have held back my money in a foreign territory. Although you are obligated to hand it over to me intact, you will learn that here in I will not accept from you copper that is not good. In my house I will choose and take the ingots one by one. Because you have treated me with contempt, I shall exercise against you my right of selecting the copper." Nani fully knew who he was dealing with, and that ea-nasir was corrupting his ingots by putting copper plating on stones. Nani insisted he would check each individual ingot to ensure that it was not a knockoff, that it was the real deal. One would think that ea-nasir would eventually get the message, that he would have to change his sneaky ways and be straight up about his business transactions. But that didn't seem to be the case, according to other tablets that archaeologists found in ea-nasir's home. When we say that his double dealings began to catch up with him, it wasn't just that tradesmen began to know exactly what kind of man he was. They stopped doing business with him on ingots almost entirely. He started to go broke, and we know this because there is tablet evidence that ea-nasir had begun sharing his house to cut costs, and he also started getting out of the ingot business. Surprise, surprise. He then went on to start an event known as the Fire Festival. How do we know this? We don't. We're just making that up. But he may as well have overseen the Fire Festival because he was essentially an ancient version of Billy McFarland. What we actually do know about what happened to ea-nasir, though, is that after he lost it all, he branched out into land speculation, real estate, and second-hand clothing. If you're wondering whether his less than stellar reputation kept people buying and selling with him in these later endeavors, then tough luck, because we are wondering the same thing. There's no evidence on the matter, except that he was no longer wealthy. Though, we're thinking it couldn't have gone all that well for the man. Nani's cuneiform tablet in ea-nasir's home is considered by the Guinness Book of World Records to be the oldest customer complaint. If the poor man could transport to the present day to see the massive amount of sympathy he's received, perhaps that would be of some balm to him. Perhaps even modern people will learn from Nani how to be eloquent, forthright, and gentlemanly in their dealings and complaints. Thank you for watching today's video of Amateur Archaeology. We're going to leave you off with some ea-nasir memes, but make sure not to forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell button so you can get notifications for our eventual ancient coin giveaway once we hit 5,000 subscribers. Please share this too so you can help a small channel like us grow. In the meantime, we'll see you next time, only on Amateur Archaeology.